Welcome to Community Voices with your host, Terrence Lachey. This radio roundtable features community, business, and religious leaders that discuss current events and topics that impact our urban community. If you would like to be a guest or if you have a suggested topic, contact the station today at 616-259-7342. Now, into the program.
Well, welcome back to another edition of Community Voices. I'm Terrence Lachey, and you are tuned in to 91.9 FM, The People's Choice. We are excited to be in the studio again today with a guest that is going to be talking about some more exciting things, new things that's happening at the Greater Grand Rapids Urban League. I've got Dawn, and I want to make sure I'm pronouncing Kaltenberg VanHorn. Is that correct?
Kaltenberg
VanHorn.
Yes,
I forgot another word there. We talked a little bit offline. Dawn, you're originally from the southeast side of the state, just as I am, but you're here in Grand Rapids as the program manager for the Opportunity Empowered Center for Entrepreneur Success and Business Development. That's a mouthful.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what that is and what they need to know about what's happening.
So Opportunity Empowered is a grant funding source. We had a pilot program last year in September, and we had another program in June. It was birthed out of the Thrive and Prosper movement, where we're trying to make the headlines true in Grand Rapids, where everybody can thrive and prosper. It's not currently like that in Grand Rapids,
Correct.
And so Thrive and Prosper is out there really trying to partner with agencies such as the Urban League of West Michigan. And then we also partner with United Way to bring forward Opportunity Empowered.
It sounds exciting. I know that you're excited to exercise your newly accomplished goals of having just finished at Cornerstone as well. We shared that in common.
Yes.
But what I think is exciting is that this particular round of funding and programming is for a different population. Let's talk a little bit about who's the target for this empowered.
For this event, we have applications opened for 18 to 24-year-olds, specifically 18 to 24 next-gen leaders. So that can be anybody that's looking to start a nonprofit, looking to start a small business, already doing a small business, and wanting to level up to go to the next level. It's a $5,000 to $15,000 grant.
Wow, and each entity could be eligible for that grant.
Correct. After applying.
Okay.
Yep. The applications go out. Once we have a full deck of applications, then we bring those applications to community groups that they look at them to see who should be a part of that top 20.
Okay.
And to be equitable, we take out all the he, she, the name of the particular business, if it's an already started, an established business or group like that. So there's no judgment and it's equitable voting. Then our agencies that we partner with all around the city will then vote for the top 20. Once those top 20 individuals are recognized initiatives, then I work with them for about a month to get ready for our pitching contest.
Okay. And then keep going. The pitching contest
Yes,
happens. And then I'm excited. I'm like on the edge of my seat.
So once you get to the pitching contest, you have the initiative owners have 3 minutes on stage to basically share their heart, share their passions, their desires, and where they would like the funds to be used to be able to elevate whatever it might be that their initiative is. Again, small business, community enhancement, or a nonprofit. Then all the audience members that are in the room at the end of all of the pitching, we have a QR code, and then they just vote on their phone.
Okay.
So backing up, our pilot event that we had last September, we included small business, nonprofit, community enhancement all together, and we had top 20, and then we were awarded the top 10 individuals $130,000. What we realized, it was a great event, good turnout, just awesome, amazing things that are happening, but what we realized with the voting, it's not as equitable when you have all three categories up there.
Sure.
A mom gets up and talks about her single parent support group, resonates differently
with a
than
for-profit business that might
exactly
be selling a product.
Exactly. So we decided to theme it out.
I think that's a great idea. What's funny to me is the idea, the concept of having the participants guest in the room vote. Well, if everybody's in the room and you bring the whole neighborhood, then of course, the voting goes up, right?
Right.
So I think that that's something that kind of encourages people to get participation in what's happening. The Urban League is a dynamic organization that's been around for quite a while, and I think this is another example of great leadership, innovative ideas to empower the community.
And we're really looking for grassroots ideas.
Yeah. So the other thing is that this is targeted for a specific age group that if we were to read the headlines right now, we probably would see, something negative as opposed to something positive.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about your passion inside of pushing this dynamic, this age group specifically. Yeah. I know that historically this age group makes the largest impact, I guess, in sales or influence and popularity. Let's talk about how they're going to make a difference in this community.
Well, they are truly the next gen leaders. So that's why we wanted to give them specifically an opportunity to rise. So many times there's not, funds or resources for things like starting a small business or enhancing an awesome community idea. And this really puts it into the hands of the youth so that they can decide what our city needs.
Yeah. You had any ideas as to what type of entities may be applying, just kind of generically?
A couple clothing.
Okay.
Some community like bike groups trying to rally kids together, get them off the streets, things like that.
Okay.
But it's a wide variety of things.
It really sounds exciting, and I like the fact that you're breaking it down by category so that the equitability will be seen across boards. Because nonprofits, would be of personal interest or maybe even of some specific affinity that a person may have. But then when you're talking for-profit entities, give these young people an opportunity to be entrepreneurs.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit more about the Urban League. What else is going on that you'd like to share? I know that this is in bilingual languages here, so it's targeting both English-speaking as well as Spanish-speaking individuals, and you're partnering with the United Way.
Correct.
And perhaps a couple of other organizations.
Yes, so we go out to different organizations that are in the community to help with that voting process.
Okay.
We don't want it just to be Urban League or United Way to say, oh, these are good. We want to partner with people that are in the community doing the work, walking alongside the individuals so they can decide. It's really a community vote.
Yeah, well, it's almost as if the community leaders are casting a vote of support that will almost assure the success of that business or that organizational idea.
Correct.
Because they're willing to vote for them that says, hey, come over here and be a part of what's happening.
The last time, our last round was specifically small business and small business startup. And I went to 8 different organizations, close to 50 individuals voted for that top 20. And it was amazing to see we had about 130 applicants, 78 that were eligible. And going out into the community, we could tell by the first day who those top 20 were going to be. It really signals that people are all on the same page as what the community needs.
I was going to say, how could you tell? What was it based on?
We have electronic voting.
Okay.
So we went to 4 places the first day, so we still had half of the agencies to go to, but based on those 4, the top 20 who had already been selected. So everybody was just voting alike, even though they were voting by themselves on their phone. So,
independently, right?
Yes.
Right. Well, that's interesting. That means that the community is involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're all on the same page on what's needed, what we're lacking, what we need more of.
So it's entitled Opportunity Empowered. It's specifically dealing with the age groups of 18 to 24-year-olds, community enhancement projects, and nonprofit organizations, small business startup ideas. These are all eligible for the up to $15,000 in funding.
Yes. So for this round, our next round, the applications will open October 1st.
Okay.
And that will be looking for specifically nonprofits.
Great.
And community enhancements.
So it's not too late for this round, though.
No, this round is staying open till July 26th, next Friday at 5 o'clock. So if you're 18 to 24 years old or know someone that's in that demographics, definitely have them sign up. And then our next round will start October 1st.
So how do they sign up? Let's talk a little bit about that process.
So if you go to opportunityempowered.org or just through our Urban League of West Michigan website, you can sign up there. The radio station has a link as well. We're on Facebook. There's just a simple little link, and you can register with your phone.
That's pretty simple to remember. Opportunity Empowered, right?
Yes.
As well as the Urban League.
Right, exactly.
Great. Well, let's talk a little bit about your passion behind this work. Somebody who might just be tuning in or just kind of dialing through. Dawn is the program manager of Opportunity Empowered and the Center for Entrepreneur Success and Business Development. The center in and of itself is a new initiative.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about that and what you bring to the table for this initiative, because offline we were talking about your most recent accomplishment of the Master's in Public Administration.
Correct.
Let's talk a little bit about your passion behind this.
Yeah. So last year I received my Master's of Public Administration in Nonprofit Organizational Leadership from Cornerstone University.
Yes.
And thank you. And did my undergrad business administration and things like that. And my passion and desire is in the DEI space.
Okay.
I've had a journey since about 2019 of just kind of an awakening of how our city is, how I fit into that, and just really want to empower those that have been marginalized throughout time.
Yeah. Yeah. So this center that is the new initiative, is this your idea, your baby, or you were brought
no.
on? Okay.
No.
Talk about the center within
no.
the Urban League.
Yes. No. That's Mr. Brown. So
All
Mr.
right.
Brown, our CEO of almost 3 years.
Mr. Brown's doing a great job.
Yes, he
He's
is.
doing
He is a
excellent.
wonderful
Shout out
leader.
to
Yes,
Brother
Mr. Brown.
Brown.
Yeah. No, I'm just a small, a small part of what's happening.
We all are a small part of a bigger picture.
Yes.
But we make big impact.
Yeah.
So talk about the center itself and how the initiatives are rolling in line with your own personal vision.
So Mr. Brown has been working on the CDFI, and so now that has come into the Urban League, we've been able to hire 4 additional staff. So up until this point, I was kind of a one-man show, Opportunity Empowered, like it fit in with the Urban League's core, values were, but now it's actually in an actual department. So we can help other small businesses outside of this $5,000 to $15,000 grant.
Wow.
So,
awesome. Sounds like some exciting things coming our way
yes,
here.
stay tuned.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about geographics and the economy of scale. We do know that there are targeted areas within the communities of Grand Rapids that need a little bit more attention than others. Yes. Is there a targeted zip code area or population that this center is looking to serve?
So Opportunity Empowered is looking to serve 49503, 49504, 5 and 7. 6 and 7. Sorry, I said that wrong.
3, 5, 6, and 7.
Yes, skip 5, basically. Okay. For right now.
3, 4, 6, and 7.
3, 4, 6, and 7.
Got
yes,
it.
yes.
Okay.
So that core area, if the work is being done, the initiative owners don't necessarily have to live in there, which most likely they probably are, but we have had people that live in 49508, let's say, but their work is being done in 49507.
Yeah.
So the work being done in the $5,000 to $15,000 that could be awarded to the initiative owners, that needs to go back into those particular zip codes.
Sure.
As far as Urban League as a whole, no, we come on in.
Yeah, that's all over the board.
Right, make an appointment.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the breakdown of the zip codes, too, because yes. I mentioned or kind of preceded that with there are communities that need a little bit more attention than others. What are you specifically looking to do in those 4 zip codes? Is it
the 4? Yeah.
The 4 zip codes.
So anybody that's the initiative owner, we're looking to empower the work that they're doing. So these are the people that are applying, just awesome ideas that are literally going back into the community. Some of the funding that was given out in the fall helped with mental health. 2 men won $8,000 to create a mental health event fair kind of a day, where we have been able to fund some daycares, some STEM daycares, some different things that are directly going to the people of the community.
Yeah.
So it's not just I'm going to take this $5,000 to $15,000 and get rich and you know.
Well, or just continue to put it in a community that may or may not need it.
Right.
So that's what I'm getting at, is the fact that there are communities that are targeted to be in. I guess bolstered with some energy and there's some money, there's dollars to go into those communities specifically to help bring things to like an equitability. So I'm just trying to be diplomatic about it, because somebody living outside of one of those zip codes might say, well, why does the money target why is it just going in that area?
Oh, I get that with the applications. So it needs to directly go back because, again, being born out of the Thrive and Prosper movement, that is also the target area of just wanting to things to be equitable.
Yeah.
And if you look at the data and the map of where things are not as equitable,
Sure.
people aren't as thriving as much, it's in those core zip codes.
Yeah. Resources not necessarily being attributed to those areas. Now we have an opportunity empowered to do that, especially with the innovation of entrepreneurship. I think that's going to be one way to empower people to express themselves, their own ideas, their thoughts, not necessarily governmental entity or a benevolent organization saying, oh, here's a program we want you to have. Well, the community's involved.
Right. What program do you want to start?
Exactly. And how do you think that will impact our community overall?
Yes.
Overall, what's some of the feedback that you're getting, from some of those in that demographic, that age demographic? Have you talked to any of the young folks about this?
Yes, I was actually out at AYA last week.
AYA
Collective. It's on State Street over by downtown area, and they have a youth drop-in center. And so I was able to speak directly to the youth to say, hey, this is an opportunity. And some of them actually had things that had already started. So even though Opportunity Empowered, for those that aren't in the next gen, just all of the events that we have, these are for aspirational things along with ideas that have already been rooted, and some of the kids had already, or the youth had already been on their way of making some great starts.
Really?
So
what are some of the ideas?
We'll see if those, one was actually to start a EMS, so this one hadn't been started, but like an EMS service for autism, for people that need to have rides to and from places. There were the two that had the clothing line type of a thing, and some outreach activities came out of that one. So these are youth that are in the community every single day and live in and see the gaps that are happening. Sure. So
I like the idea of it being inclusive and giving young people a voice, an opportunity to express themselves. I love the art. Our city is known for art, specifically in culture. So perhaps there might be a young person listening that's an artist.
Yes.
Or maybe somebody who's in technology that maybe has some ideas. Social media is always big,
right? But
when you monetize it, it's bigger.
Yes.
And it's for a great social cause. I think about the country and the state that the country is currently in. We're divided in so many ways. We're divided politically, we're divided religiously, we're divided ethnically, and economically we're divided. So, draw the connection between how this can make an impact that will trickle out. How do you think this will?
I believe that Opportunity Empowered is a way for different groups to come together because we invite funders also to this. So it's a space where people in our community that are more on that funding level and behind the scenes can come out and support local and really hear what's happening and be able to, even if they're not at the event, they are Thrive and Prosper. We have a website there, and then also a monthly newsletter that goes out. So it connects different sides of town, different kinds of people to a natural synergy of Thrive and Prosper where everyone is thriving and prospering.
Sure.
And so it's wonderful to be a front row seat through Urban League and Opportunity Empowered to kind of connect both of these sides together to see what is needed, what is lacking, and where we can go.
I think that's well said. The Thrive and Prosper initiative is massive.
Yes.
I happen to be involved in one of the committees for that.
Oh.
And so I do know that it's intentional in trying to make a difference proactively as opposed to reactively.
Exactly.
So it's not a matter of responding to, but it's a matter of being proactive and projecting years out. Right. This impact alone from Opportunity Empowered could have generational effect.
We're hoping.
Yeah, we're talking next gen, but then there's probably a few gens after that.
Right.
That could sit at this table and say, yeah, I remember back when my parents started, their little nonprofit organization that's now impacting West Michigan.
Right. Look at the difference that it made. Yeah. We actually had one gentleman that won the last round who has a driver's training school.
Wow.
And with the funds that he received, he added another vehicle to his fleet and is working with adult driver's training. So not the typical high schoolers that need the training. There's plenty of those out. These are refugees and people that don't normally have access to that kind of class.
Those are the resources.
Yep, he's doing it at an affordable rate. So it's definitely generational to come.
Great. Well, make the pitch again. We still got a few minutes left in our interview and our conversation here, and this is great. It's enlightening, but it's also inspirational because a difference is being made, and we're not just talking about it; we're being about it.
Right.
What would you like to see come out of this?
More people applying. That 18 to 24-year-old, we will take applications all the way up until Friday, July 26th. But 18 to 24, if you are a parent, a grandparent, aunt, uncle, and have a younger person in your life that has a heart's desire to make a difference and make a change, please have them apply. It doesn't have to be totally set in stone. It just needs to be an idea. We need to hear what that idea is, and we can work with that individual to help that idea grow. So sometimes I think people think, oh, I need to have, my business plan already or this, that, and the other. We just need awesome ideas to come through and see, have our community vote on those ideas of what's needed.
Well, just the community vote alone would be inspiration for them to move forward, and then they get to work with you for quite a while before actually putting the formal pitch together, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we work about once a week for a month, just getting ready, being on stage, PowerPoints. We have a video team that will also do a short video for each initiative owner and then get them ready for stage.
Really, it's a win-win because based on the number of applicants and the number of accepted proposals, people could walk away with some support for their idea.
Right. Yeah. And even those that aren't funded, you're still a part of this community of Opportunity Empowered. So our at Urban League social media, United Ways social media, again back to the Thrive and Prosper movement, that monthly newsletter. So even though funds might not have been given, being a part of it, the community, I like to tell the initiative owners that didn't win, they were already winners to begin with.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the community voted for them to be on stage. So they already said, this is something, what you're doing is something important for our community.
Wow, I think that's some consolation. I remember, the media really just jumping on all the negativity that's happening within that age group, the shootings and the violence in the streets. I'm sure the police blotter is full with, some of the demographics of 24 to 18-year-olds. But this is an opportunity to make a difference in a positive way.
Correct.
Putting money where our mouths are.
Yes.
And then the community gets a chance to get involved.
Yeah.
They get an opportunity to vote and to weigh in on the proposals, but then also to be present at the pitch.
Correct.
Let's talk about the excitement of the pitch. It's almost like, there's been quite a few opportunities since COVID about pitching businesses and pitching ideas. But talk about what happens synergistically in that space.
In the room.
Yeah.
We do not release how many people we will be able to fund, because this initiative is currently collecting funds to be able to, in turn, award the funds. Right. So every time, so we've had two events. The one in September, when we announced the 10, they didn't know we were going to do 10. We could have done 1 or 2 or 3. So the excitement on the initiative owners. And then this past June, when we announced 5, they don't know. So it's where everyone's, and nobody knows. We literally make the decision almost that night.
Yeah.
So it's everyone's on their seats. So how many people are going to get awarded with that? So we make it really fun with music and lots of fun.
And are vendors available? Are vendors present during that night, or do you have people involved?
They are not. So the vendors present are the DJ and the MC and things like that. But we don't have like vendor booths.
Sure,
Is that what you're?
Sure.
Yeah.
I was just trying to imagine the excitement of giving away money. There's got to be an excitement involved.
Well, the music is on and we're dancing. There's a 15-minute voting window, so people are milling around.
Networking
That's definitely happening.
Well, it's obviously the place to be. So prior to getting to that would be get your proposal in, or at least your application to be considered for this opportunity. We've got a few more moments left. Go ahead and make your pitch. You don't have to turn to one of the cameras, but
Okay.
I want you to go ahead and have most of the final words.
We are looking for grassroots ideas that are going to change the community. We are wanting to empower people. So whatever that looks like, if this is something that's happening in a church basement, in a backyard, something that the community needs to know about, ideas that need to be elevated, this is what Opportunity Empowered is all about. So please apply by July 26th. If you are in the nonprofit space, we will have another round later in the year, but this one where applications we're still accepting are for 18 to 24-year-olds. We want to help walk alongside the community. We want to give back to the community to have a voice, to be able to decide where funds are. So it's philanthropy upside down.
Philanthropy upside down.
Yes.
I was going to mention those who want to come and partner as funders. Talk a little bit about that. There may be somebody listening that just has a few $100,000 they'd like to
just
put
in their back pocket.
Yeah, they'd like to put it to a good cause.
Yes.
Let's talk to those people.
If you are a funder of all ranges, 1,000 to that 100,000, if you are a funder and you just don't know where to put the funds, why not try a difference in philanthropy where you're giving the community the voice to be able to say, this is what we need in the community. So let's try it that way.
I think that's good. How should they contact you? Because I just sense that there's some people with some money that they need to put in a good spot.
We would love to have
the Urban League's a great place to put it, right?
So if you go to the Urban League website, there is an Opportunity Empowered button on the top, and they can reach me that way.
Make a donation, right?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Tax-deductible donation.
Yeah, and an invite to the event. So
really, so really, the key spot to go to for either funding or applying would be the Urban League's page, or possibly to opportunityempowered.org, is it?
Yes. And then for more on the funding side is also the Thrive and Prosper.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a lot of different avenues to get to this. There's a lot of different partners and players in this. So
I think that's really key. It's been exciting to talk about this program. I'm excited about what Brother Brown is doing with the Urban League as the leader, and even the management and the directors of the various programs. It's all coming together again, full circle. Urban League's been around for a long time, doing great things. This is a very good avenue in which we can see a great history as well as vision for our future. Vision for our future.
Well, Mr. Brown is a wonderful visionary, and we're on the path to do even more things.
Absolutely.
More to come.
Well, Dawn Kaltenberg VanHorn.
That's
I got
correct,
it right.
yes.
Amen. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing that. Again, the information is available at opportunityempowered.org or the Urban League or Thrive and Prosper. So there's various places to get this information, and you can have those final words. What would you like to say to the listening audience?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that. And just share the word, reach out, even if you don't have anybody in that category. If you want to learn more about it and ways to get involved, we look for people to volunteer and maybe teach, a class as we're going through business management and things like that. We're always looking to partner with other agencies as well. So if you aren't in the category of being able to apply, if there's something that you heard today that sparked your interest, please reach out.
Great. Dawn, thank you so much for being here. I'm Terrence Lachey. You've been listening to Community Voices on 91.9 FM, The People's Choice.
You've been listening to Community Voices with your host, Terrence Lachey. Community Voices can be heard every Friday at 12 noon. This radio roundtable features community, business, and religious leaders that discuss current events and topics that impact our urban community. If you would like to be a guest, or if you have a suggested topic, contact the station today at 616-259-7342. Until next week, let your voice be heard in the community.